everyone, and welcome back to another episode of E2E, or Engineer to Engineer, that 10-minute drill. And today we're talking with Grace Kim, who is a PM on the Azure File and File Sync team. And we're going to talk about how to maybe better manage our identities. So stay tuned. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
Hi, Pierre. Thank you so much for having me today.
No problem. No problem. Apparently, there's a better way of doing things.
Better way, as in
Having real identities or managing the identities of our file sync endpoints and stuff like that versus using keys. Because I have to admit, in a demo environment, I had to switch my keys, and all of a sudden, nothing worked anymore.
there is actually a way of making your storage sync service a bit more secure.
Okay.
Uh, we have this thing called Managed Identities in File Sync, where it eliminates the need for any static credentials like shared access keys or manual rotations of server certificates.
Okay. So, can you walk me through it? So, no more rotating keys, no more static kind of like challenge keys or entries. How does that work?
Managed identities removes the need for your server to authenticate to, or the storage sync service to authenticate to your server via certificates. Your server receives a managed identity and is able to communicate via the managed identity instead of having certificates or rotating or shared access keys to access your storage account.
And that's significantly better because I have found in my own notes copies of shared access keys.
Yes.
So if I have them in like a notepad document for a deployment on a demo environment, I'm sure other customers might have some in Slack channels, in Teams channels.
Yeah, so it would completely, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And it would be role based access control. That way you don't have to remember writing down a long chain of keys or having to give access to everybody. Instead, you can control this via role based access controls.
Okay. So how do we achieve that?
Yeah, so there's two ways. We made it really simple, as if you're already using Azure File Sync and you're using an Azure VM, you can actually go into these settings and turn on system assign manage identity for the server. This
Okay.
way, it allows the storage sync service to know that, oh, the server is now eligible for manage identities. And if you're newly provisioning a storage sync server, you can turn on the system assign manage identity on the server, and then you can install Azure File Sync on the server. That way, once you're done with the installation of the Azure File Sync and then registering the server, you can go ahead and just turn on manage identities in the storage sync service, and it'll, assign everything in the background, and there's nothing you have to do.
Okay. But you mentioned that that's on an server, like that's a VM in Azure. What
Yes.
about my servers that are sitting maybe in somebody else's cloud or on-prem?
So we thought about that as well. In case it is not an Azure VM, you can you can make your servers Arc enabled, and that
Okay.
way it'll allow you guys to use manage identities as well.
Okay, so it's just a process of it, making them like Arc enabled or
Yes.
installing the Arc agent and basically giving them a digital identity in Azure.
Yes.
Okay, so at that point, they're really not that much different than an Azure VM.
Yes. There are instructions when you go in the portal, and I do have a demo set up that I can definitely show you
Oh, okay.
where, yeah, the instructions are. So right now here, we're actually going through a provisioning of a new server where we're registering the server. And I think Ritika in the previous video showed how to install the Azure File Sync agent. And now we're at the step of registering the server. If you actually look right here underneath the storage sync service, you can see that the your storage it shows that your storage sync service is enabled for managed identities. One of the requirements that we have is that you have a agent that is V20 or higher, or the latest agent
Yeah.
for security purposes. This way, once you register your server, you can go into the registered server, and on this part, you can see if manage identities is enabled on your server or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if it's not because you've just registered it, you just turn it on.
So, yes, you can just turn it on, and this is the page to turn it on. However, we need to make sure the Azure VM, or if it's a non-Azure VM, that it is Arc enabled, or you have a system assigned managed identity turned on for the Azure VM. Right now, it shows that it's not ready to use managed identities um, because I specifically did not turn on the system assigned managed identity.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in, and then we're going to turn on the system assign manage identity. And it takes a few minutes for it to assign it, and you'll get the object ID once it's completed. I'm going back to my storage sync service. And now you can see that it's ready to use manage identity. And it's really easy from here. Once it shows it's ready to use it, you can go on ahead to the blue button at the bottom and turn it on. Once you turn it on, it does take a few minutes for it to be provisioned, since it's going through the background of all this, like creating a managed identity for the storage sync service, setting up storage sync permissions, and registering the server permissions, and transitioning it from server certificate to manage identity authentication. So that does take a few minutes to enable.
Okay. So if we've got an existing environment, we Arc enable them, uh, enable the system managed identity, and then go into your registered servers and then turn it on there again.
Yes. So for Arc, for non-Azure VMs, it's
Yeah.
enable the Arc, and then for Azure VMs, it's system assigned manage identity,
Okay.
and then the blue
Perfect.
button at the bottom of the manage identities blade.
Okay. Once I've got that and I've got the managed identity, now I don't have to worry about rotating credentials or certificates anymore. That's all taken care of.
Yes. Now you need to if there is someone, or if there is something, you would just control it via RBAC. So if I wanted to give you access, I would just go ahead into the access control and assign the role based access controls.
Okay, and is there a built-in role for this, or is that done automatically?
That so all of managed identities for storage sync service to allow the authentication to the storage account and the servers is done automatically in the background.
Okay,
For, let's say, for people like for you or me to access the storage account or storage sync service, that you would have to do manually on the side via access control.
okay. So I don't have to take my VMs, regardless where they are, and go to access control or IAMs and assign these new roles to these machines. That's done by the service.
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, that's really cool. I'm very happy that this is going on because, like I said, it's really been a problem in my demo environment because I want to change. Because you do a demo, you actually show the keys, and you don't want anybody else having
Yeah.
access
Mhm.
or setting that up. So I kind of rotate the keys a lot, and every once in a while it stops syncing. But now if I can set it up that way, I don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, Grace, thank you so much for telling us about this. This is a great addition to the file sync service. Also, it's a great addition to servers that are anywhere because once they're Arc enabled, you can do a whole lot more in terms of management on them. So it's kind of like a two birds, one stone kind of thing. So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much, Pierre.
And let me know if you've got anything else coming up for Azure Storage and File Sync. I'm sure our audience will be more than happy to see that.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Cheers.